Unlocking the Platinum Trophy in a PlayStation game is often a huge undertaking that can take up a large amount of your gaming time, so it's always a big decision that gamers will face when they are playing their new game, whether they should just play it casually and complete the story, or whether they want to go ahead and unlock every single trophy in the game in order to get that shiny Platinum. And while it does feel good when you eventually get it, sometimes the journey isn't worth it, but luckily I'm here to say whether you should play it, plat it, or just downright avoid it. And today I'm looking at Shenmue 3 on PS4. So, should you platinum Shenmue 3? No. No? Nope. Never. No. No way. Fuck. No. You see, the Shenmue 3 Platinum is a terrible, and I mean absolutely terrible, waste of your gaming time. For starters, story-wise, which is the main selling point of the series, it just feels like a complete waste. I mean, sure, there's one or two cool scenes towards the end of the game, but for the most part of this 20-hour or so story, it just feels like absolute filler nonsense that just didn't need to be stretched out for this long. As a result, it just feels like Shenmue 2's DLC, a side story from that could have been told in like 1 or 2 hours, so it doesn't really feel like the real Shenmue 3, which is just an absolute shame because this is just such a huge letdown, especially for the amount of time we've been waiting for this game. And trophy-wise, it gets even worse. Oh my god. So Shenmue has 37 trophies, 22 bronze, 9 silver and 5 gold, and once I finally popped that Platinum Trophy Shenmue Hero, I had spent 59 hours playing this game, and to be honest, that was 59 hours of utterly pointless tedium. And this game shouldn't even really be called Shenmue 3, it should be called Shenmue Fishing Simulator, because fishing is one of the main things you'll do in this fucking game, if you can even call it a game, to be honest. So I hope you enjoy fishing, because thanks to these 4 annoying trophies, that's what you'll be spending your vast majority of time doing. So, one of the first trophies for the fishing is to fish in all of the spots in Bailu, and Bailu is where you start the game after you come out of the cave. It's the village that Shenmue lives in, so you'll be spending the first chunk of the game in this location, and dotted around the map are several fishing spots, and to get the trophy you need to fish at all of them. You'll then get another trophy that is the same thing, but in the second location in the game, called Niwao, I think it is, anyway. And again, this has like 10 or so fishing spots for you to go and fish at in order to unlock the bronze Rumoured Rodman trophy. But these are bullshit because they are missable, and you get a third one if you get the fishing spots done in both locations. But it's bullshit because 2 of the fishing spots for each location are unlocked by completing a side quest and selecting a fishing spot as the reward for completing them. So if you accidentally press the capsule toy option and select the toy, you will never learn of this hidden fishing spot. So you won't be able to get the trophy, so you've just voided yourself out of getting it. So unless you've got backup saves, you'll have to start over again and do it on another playthrough, and it just makes a tedious trophy even more annoying, because you can easily miss the story missions if you advance them. It's just a stupid, stupid trophy. So if you do manage to get all of them, you will unlock the third trophy, which is the Adept Angler, for fishing at all of the spots throughout the whole game. But perhaps the worst trophy for fishing is the Angler Extraordinaire Gold trophy, which requires you to catch 1,000 fish. Yep, that's right, 1 fucking 1,000 fish. This is an absolute piss take of a trophy, and it's just so fucking annoying, and it really did kill my enjoyment of this game straight away. So your best bet is to do this in Bailu early on, as one of the hidden fishing location spots is a really small little pool, so this will reduce the amount of time it takes you to throw your rod out, cast your line, reel in the fish, catch it, and then repeat again. So this is the most effective one, most efficient one to catch as many fish as you can in your rental session. Because, yep, that's right, you can't just buy a rod and use it all day and fish all day. Oh no, Rio has to rent a rod every single time you want to go fishing, and the rod has a time limit, and once it reaches that, the fishing automatically ends. So this means that you can only catch around 25 fish per session, and each time you rent a rod it costs you money, which at the beginning of the game you won't really have much of anyway. So you'll have a time limit to catch as many fish as you can before it expires and your session ends, which just makes it even more awkward than it ever needed to be, because you'll spend ages trying to catch fish and you'll only end up getting 25 if you're lucky every time. And when you need to catch 1,000, well, you can easily do the math there and work out how long that's going to take you. So it took me a while as well to realise that once your session ends, if you do it in the morning, you can actually go back to the fishing rental place and rent it again and do another afternoon session before you're locked out of it for that day completely. So at best you can catch 50 fish a day and you need to get 1,000. So there you go, that shows you how many days you need to devote to purely just fishing. It's just an absolute soul-crushing experience. This was the worst bit of the game for me, just having to do this fishing, because it's just so slow and awkward. And when you complete a rental session, you get this loading screen where it loads you back to the rental place and you see all the fish that you've caught, and you get this animation of it going through each one, showing you the size and weight and how much money you will end up getting for them. But you can't skip none of this, so you have to wait for it to do all that, show you a reward, how much money you earned. Then you get a little conversation with the fisherman, and all of this you can't skip. Then it does the stupid thing of loading again to put you back to the fishing spot location that you were at. So then you have to then run back to the rental place to get the rod again to go fishing again that day. So you waste about an hour of running back and forth there. It's just stupid, absolutely stupid, and this was just a fucking terrible trophy. Absolutely fucking terrible. It's just stupid. Having to run back every time and quickly go there, and then go back to your fishing spot and try and catch as many as you can within the time limit, only end up getting 25 every time, 50 in a day, to have to get 1,000 altogether. It's just bullshit. And sure, there are a couple of missions where you will have to go fishing, so you can probably cross off maybe 100, 200 at max fish, leaving you with 800 just get on your own, but it's still bullshit, absolutely fucking bullshit. What were they thinking with that trophy? I do not know. So after wasting your time fishing, there's also another set of trophies that will waste even more of your time, and these are related to collecting the herbs scattered throughout the game. So it's yet another collectible in Shenmue. So there are a bunch of herbs for you to get in Bailu at the start of the game, and if you don't pick them all up, well, then you've locked yourself out of the third trophy for getting all of the herbs in the entire game, and you'll have to do it again on a New Game Plus run. So to pick up the herbs, you just have to basically walk around these fields and try and find the specific plants that will allow you to pick them up, and this can be really awkward at times. You're probably better off doing it at night, because then the red sort of circle thing that appears around them will be easier to spot, and the plants will just stand out more in the dark anyway, weirdly. But this is a ball ache of a trophy because there's just so many. There's over 100, I think there's over 150 in Bailu to actually gather. So you just spend a load of time walking around, and of course, every time you're moving around in Shenmue, the clock is ticking, so your day is going down. So eventually you will just hit nighttime and find that all of a sudden you've wasted an entire day, or maybe a week, if you're really struggling to find them, to collect all these herbs. Now, the game does leave several herb maps around in certain shops for you to pick up, but you're better off just using a video guide on YouTube and trying to follow that. But God help you if you miss one. My God, you'll be in for a fucking struggle to find the one that you need. This was just a terrible, terrible trophy, because it just took ages and took me out of the actual game, running around picking up all these fucking herbs. And whatever you do, do not sell them, because you're going to need those herbs when you get to the second location in the game, because you need to trade those for some other things that you need to get for another trophy. So if you accidentally sell them to get more money, which is something that you'll definitely need more of in the early game, then you're fucked. So please do not sell any of the herbs that you pick up. But when you get to the Newell, the second part of the game, you'll find that there's even more herbs for you to find, and this time, to get the Wild Plant Master Bronze Trophy, you'll need to get about 199 herbs in this location. Fuck me, why so many? Why do devs just have such a fetish to have loads of collectibles in their games? It just wastes time. Sure, it pads out the runtime, but it's wasting my time and it's not fun. I didn't enjoy picking up all these herbs at all. There was no enjoyment there whatsoever. It was just a ball ache. What a fucking joke. But there's even more bullshit trophies in Shenmue, because there's also trophies for chopping 1,000 wood. So this one, it's not as bad as the fish, because you can actually do more in a single session, and it's kind of a bit more, I want to say exciting, but it is just pressing X to chop some wood every time. But you can get around 50 to 70 pieces of wood chopped every session, and they don't last as long as the fishing sessions, so you can do quite a few of these in a single day. So this one won't take you too long to chop 1,000 wood. You're looking at maybe 10 to 15 sessions, I would say. Maybe a bit more, but yeah, 10 to 15 probably, maybe 20. You should be able to get this trophy out of the way, but it's an annoying one, but it's not as bad as the others in the list. There's another trophy for getting the high scores on all of the arcade machines in the game. So in total in Shenmue there are 3 arcade machine buildings, and each one has multiple arcade machines for you to get high scores on, and there's various different games you can play, from whack-a-mole to these QTE games where you have to punch or press directions or symbol buttons within a time limit, and the aim is to just get the high scores on all of these machines. So this is another missable trophy, because if you don't get the arcade machines done in Bailu before you leave, then you can't get this trophy, because you won't be able to do those machines. But what makes it bullshit, other than that, is the fact that you have to get it on every single machine in each arcade area. So it doesn't matter if you do one whack-a-mole, you have to do all of them. So you're playing the same game upwards of like 10 times just to get the high score on each machine, and the games are the same every time you play them, so it's not like the one machine's different to the other. So it's just another ball ache, another time waste to get this trophy, and it's glitched on the 1.0 version of the game, so just be aware of that. Next up, another really bad collectible trophy set is the ones for the capsules. So these are the toy capsules that are quite sort of synonymous with Shenmue, and they're kind of fun little things to see what toys you get, but these ones are a bit more mundane than what they were in the other Shenmue games, because you don't get any like Sega sets like Sonic or Virtua Fighter. The most you'll get now is a Sega Saturn and then some Shenmue 1 and 2 toys, but these are just annoying because these just seriously take the piss. There are 30 sets in total. There are some that you can only get in Bailu. There are some that you can only get if you trade certain items to be able to get things, so you've got to be wary of that. And there's also it's just random, and it will take you fucking forever to get all of the entire set that you need, because you'll often find you get all but one, and then you're just left playing for like 10-20 minutes getting loads of dupes until you get the one you need. These trophies are just extremely monotonous and very, very tedious to try and get. So I would definitely suggest you work on them throughout the story and definitely get them all before you leave certain areas. It's just one hassle after another. Each set is like a brick wall that you've got to knock down with your face to get that final set, and then once you get all of that set, you then go on to the next set that you need to get everything on, and sometimes you can end up spending like 200 goes on it until you get the final one you need for that set, and that just becomes really disheartening when you go for these trophies. And when you see a dupe of the same one multiple times in a row, it really starts to piss you off, to be honest, and this is just a terrible trophy to go for.
This one is interesting.
Oh no. Right.
This is
That is fucking bullshit. I can get the drum set 3 fucking times in a row, yet I can't get the metronome thing. Are you fucking kidding me, game? What the fuck are drums again? What are the odds of getting drums that many times in a row and never getting the other one? That is fucking bullshit. This fucking game.
Shenmue 3 also features several trophies related to money, items brought, and tokens which you can get to play the machines. So some of these trophies aren't too bad. The money goes up, I think it's like 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, and the tokens are like 50, 80, and then 500,000, which is ridiculous. But you will need so much money in this game just to get through it and get all of the other trophies out the way that it does become a real ball ache to actually get money in the first place. So I was playing on version 1.0 all the way up until I got to the second location in the game, because you can do a sort of money sort of cheat where you can buy these items for a very, very low price to get the exchange for the reverse heal skill book. So you need to buy these 4 books in order to then sell them to this merchant, so you can then sell that skill book back to him for an inflated price. But this will take you an absolute age, because you have to do everything in a single button press every time. You can't just sell everything of that item. You have to individually select each one. So when I brought 2,000 of these, it took me an absolute age to select 2,000 to sell back to him. So it's a really grindy process, but getting around 250,000 yen should see you through the rest of the game and all the other trophies fine. But it's just ball ache. Everything's a ball ache, and everything's a grind, and everything's tedious in this game. So you'll want to make a save before you go to the casino, and then buy 500,000 tokens. And as soon as you get that trophy, just reload your save and keep that money, because you don't really need the tokens, to be honest. You especially don't need that many. I don't know why the game forced you to get 500,000, but again, it's just another way for the game to waste your fucking time, and that's what it seems to excel at. That's probably the best thing this game does, is just waste your time with tedious shit like this. So another of the purchase trophies is for acquiring all of the skill books. Now again, like some of the other ones, these can be missable because you need to make sure you buy certain items in the first area, so you can then trade them later on in the shop, like a red radio, a magnifying glass, and a butterfly pendant. Not that you'd know you'd need them until you got to this area, but by then it's too late. And I also spent most of my 200,000 to get all these skill books. Fuck me. The rest of the trophies, for the most part, are related to some of the story missions that you'll naturally get, but there's also another trophy, a bronze, called Good Karma, for completing all of the side missions, and I think there's probably around 25, something like that, side quests, but these are easily missable if you advance the story too much. The people who would give you these side quests will disappear and you won't be able to complete them, so you can easily lock yourself out of this trophy, which is bullshit, forcing you to do another playthrough. Thankfully, I was using the guide to get these, so I knew exactly when the side missions would appear and when I should go and get them, start them and complete them. But yeah, it's really annoying. And even if you do New Game Plus and you complete that side mission you missed, you still won't get the trophy, because you need to do all of them in a single playthrough, and when they're missable and hard to find, that's just bullshit in my opinion. And that is pretty much the reasons why I think with Shenmue 3 and the Platinum, you should just fucking avoid it, because it's just awful.